one of the things that I'm doing today is I have restarted our jar of change. And then the second thing that we're doing today is we actually got a surprise gift in the mail. It was supposed to be a Christmas present that somehow didn't get to us on time for Christmas. And I'm going to go deposit that real fast in the bank, and it's actually going to take our numbers up. But I also have a couple of other donations that I haven't been able to make it to the bank to deposit yet. And so we're going to go do that right now. So, adventure has already struck when the gas light just popped up on my car. Totally out of nowhere. I didn't even realize I was low on gas. I swear, I just filled it up, and I had no idea. So this actually isn't our bank that that the savings is in for the baby. This is actually a separate bank that we also bank with that has a separate account. I just have to stop here and get a couple of dollars out that we're planning on putting back into the account for the baby. And if I'm going to deposit some other stuff, I might as well just do this at the same time. That was close, actually, because that ATM eats the card and then you have to hit a button to return it when you're done transacting. I almost always leave without my card. Again, I almost left without it, so me. So there we have it. We are at the bank with the baby savings account, and we are about to go and make a deposit. Hi everybody!
Hey everybody!
So we got our
stimulus check. Woohoo!
Yeah! So for money item number 3, we're gonna go pick that up and drop that off at the bank with the money for the baby.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a big help.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. So yeah, there is errand number 3 taken care of. And we have deposited our money.
Yay!
Yeah, pretty close call on this one too, actually. It is Friday, and we waited until like 4:45 to leave the house.
So we got here right before the bank closed.
And we had to go to 2 banks, so we got there right before both banks closed. Thankfully, because it's the weekend, they stay open a little bit later. So, well, right before the weekend.
Yeah, Friday.
So.
Anyway, we will
keep on rolling.
Yeah.
So we managed to finish running the last of our errands, and we want to celebrate a little bit the victory of getting a little bit more money in the account, and quite a bit actually. We're going to be putting the total so far that we have right now up on the web after this particular episode, this vlog, just like all of them. And we're going to finally update our thermometers for you, because we told you we would be putting them all together in the red thermometer, putting them all together in one, and we're going to be doing that. So we're going to go and find ourselves a nice little something to celebrate with, a nice little treat here at Walmart. Ta-da! We'll see what we shall see. yummy stuff. You know, I miss microwave popcorn. Oh, I've got an idea. Robert, I've got an idea. Hi guys, so we are back home now from shopping, and my idea is a really cool one, but it bears a little explaining first. So, Robert and I, when we first got married, we got all the hand-me-downs that all newlyweds do. You know, you have to buy your furniture from DI, or someone's old bed that they're not using anymore, their mattress, because furniture is expensive, or dishware is expensive, or whatever, what have you. But we have gotten, over the span of 7 years, sort of sick of it, because for whatever reason, after the newlywed phase was over, people still kept thinking of us when they had stuff they didn't want anymore, that we were always asked if we wanted. Usually it was something that we're like, yeah, we could use that, we don't care, but like after a while,
It gets to a point where none of the stuff that you have is actually stuff that you really picked out or chose or wanted.
Yeah, it's like the house isn't really yours. So about a year ago, we went through a patch where we had to pay off a ton of debt really fast. And my father-in-law was very kind and allowed us to move in with him so that we could eliminate all of our expenses for 3 months. And for 3 months, we could just put all of our income down on these debts and completely remove them from our credit history and all that other stuff that we were dealing with. And during that time, because we didn't want to inconvenience him, we bought a storage unit that we put everything we owned in, and we only took suitcases to his house for those 3 months. And so in order to fit in as small of a unit as possible, to save as much money as possible, to pay as much debt as possible, we downsized everything. Like, we watched tiny house episodes and everything. Like, we got rid of like basically 90% of what we owned. And one of those things was a microwave, but it was just an inconvenience. And it dawned on me that with this gigantic paycheck that, for those of you that don't know, Robert's final paycheck from Brolum's came in, and it had all of his, what was it?
Vacation and paid time off.
Yeah, all of his vacation and paid time off in it, so it was a huge paycheck. Most of that went to the baby too, but a little bit of it is just gone into our household bills. And with this giant income of money, we decided that it was about time for this. I mean, like, look at it. It doesn't even have like regular buttons. It's like you have to turn this and like set different settings for what it does. Like, it has a manual that like you have to read the manual all the way through to even understand how to use the thing, cuz like it's so retro and adorable. So we don't actually have any like discussion topics this week, like touchy-feely stuff that we wanted to go over. But we have a couple of things that we just been thinking about talking about. We want to kind of like just throw out there, put out there in the air for you guys and just talk about them a little bit. So the first one is, you'll notice earlier in this particular episode we mentioned Robert got his last paycheck from Brolum's, and I'm just gonna let him explain that one a little bit.
So yeah, I left Brolum's. I got offered overtime at Woodcock's because they wanted me to come on full time, and with that, I'll be able to make the same amount of money that I am working at both jobs. So it just makes sense. And on top of that, we got all my paid time off and vacation time paid to us out from Brolum's, which gave us a little bit more money to work with for baby.
So basically a giant cash out on top of less hours, more money. It just makes more sense right now for the two of us. And the second thing that we wanted to talk to you guys about was, so we've set in motion for ourselves. We have different goals, different benchmarks, not only financial, but physical, emotional, spiritual, what have you, for The requirements of whether or not we end up going between our first choice, which is embryo adoption, and our backup choice that we've told you guys about, which is of independent adoption. And the deadlines and the due dates of those requirements has always been the 1st of January, because we've told you guys many times we want to start trying this process by the end of this month and getting started on it. And that time has come and went, and we've crunched all the metaphorical numbers and soul searched, and we've actually ended up with a little bit of an awkward answer.
We're in the middle.
We're-
It could go either way.
Now we're stuck, like, literally right down the middle between what way it could go. If we do end up sticking with embryo, it looks like we are going to end up probably having to wait for a little bit longer, a couple extra more months. And there's pros and cons to each side. And right now, basically what it's looking like is with embryo adoption, the pros include personal hands-on staff, social workers that are going to be doing all the matching for us between couples, financial experts who are going to be helping us find whatever money that we need, a lot of support, and just a lot of professionalism. People that are basically doing most of the work for us because that's their job. On the con side, it's a lot harder physiologically on me, on Robert. The stakes are a lot higher emotionally as well as physically, not only between whether or not the baby gets here and arrives healthily, but whether or not we're pregnant, whether or not it took, who we're matched with, all of those things. And it's much more expensive in the long run, theoretically. And we don't know until we've paid it. Honestly, that's how most adoptions are. On the independent adoption side of things, assuming everything goes well, nobody tries to con us, everything works out, we end up paying almost, I think, a half, probably a lot, half or less than half of the price. We end up going through a lot less hard time physically carrying or physiologically trying to figure out what's going on with baby health and with the medicine and the medical side of things and the financial side of things and the legal side of things. But it's also a lot harder on us in every other social way because all of the work is on us. We got to find the mom. We got to make sure that everything's working out. We got to travel back and forth to the baby. Those are the con sides. So basically, it's more expensive, longer wait time, more difficult route where we have all the love, support, and financial and emotional help that we need from professionals who do this every day, or doing it ourselves really cheaply, really easily, really simply, but
taking a few more risks.
Yeah, taking a few more risks along the way and trying to do it a lot more on our own. And there's a little bit more to it than that, but that's the basic gist. So at this point, because we're kind of stuck in the middle and trying to decide, because we need to know by the end of the month what we're going to be doing, we are going to be making an appointment with the bishop and talking to him about it to get an ecclesiastical point of view. We're going to be talking to family members and friends in person as much as we can. But what we want from you guys, if you're willing, is we want you guys to start a thread in the chat talking about it. And we want to know your opinions on what you think we should do, which option, and why. Mm-hmm. What do you think about this?
We'd also appreciate your prayers on our behalf so we can have help making the decision.
Yeah, we're going to be putting a lot of effort into this specific week, making the decision so that we can hopefully have an answer for you by next week. Thanks again so much, you guys, for everything you do, supporting us and helping us with everything, and listening to our babblings. So, until next week.
So long.
Bye.
Bye-bye.